Hey everyone, in this video I wanted to show you all the feature where you can compare multiple sessions and multiple laps at once. So I wanted to cover that in this video here. So as you can see again, I'm already signed in and I've gone through and I synchronized my history. So I have all my history from the server on the app. I've already gone in and actually created a session and I've pinned it here. So in a separate video, I've showed how you can go about pinning a session so you can go immediately into that view. For the purposes here, I am going to show you that how to go through that process just so it's a little so you can see how to go about it. It's a pretty easy wizard. So what you want to do here is go into this option here where it's multiple sessions instead of single sessions. Select that. Then you go through and select the track that you want to go and compare. So I'm going to go ahead and grab, let's see here, Portland International Raceways. I'm going to select some of the fastest laps that I know of. Let's see here. I see that was one of my fastest laps there. So we'll go, let's see, 1:30:01. Then you want to select the lap that you want to reference to. Let's see, we'll grab that. So here's what we have here. The first thing is, here as you see is the video for each one of the laps. This is the video that's a slower lap, and this is the video that's the faster lap. As you can see, I've already previously downloaded a video for this lap, and I haven't here. So what I can do here is click this button here to download that video. So I'm going to go ahead and initiate that. There's a notification that came up on my other screen that you can't see, but basically saying that that lap is being downloaded. So while that's being downloaded, I'll give you the tour of the rest of the view here. So we can see here is there's data points for each one of the laps. You see down here that will be animated as we go through. There's reference points, so you'll be able to compare the two laps. There's a map overlay, so you can go in here and actually go in and zoom pretty well. And what will end up being shown here, this line is of the fastest lap. And as we go through and play the video, you will actually see, as play the session, you actually see the two dots, a blue one and a red one, going through real time, so you can see the separation. Then what we have as you scroll down the graphs here is the first thing is most important is a delta. So it's the difference in lap times for the two laps. And as you can see, we haven't optimized the UI here that much, but the important thing is you can see the segments that have been created for PIR. In a separate video, I've talked about how you can go about creating the segments for each one of the tracks. But our goal here was basically to be able to show you quickly where it is that somebody could be losing time the most in each individual lap. So what we basically have here is the lap time or the segment time for the lap that was the fastest. So you can see here in segment 1, then the red lap over here is faster, and the blue lap, my lap, is a 0.3 seconds slower. What you can do here is again is compare two laps and start looking at, all right, where are the big chunks of lap time that are being missed out on. And you can see that for my purposes, this is my driving, and then the red lap that's downloading right now is actually a lap where another driver who's a good bit faster than I am was driving my car that same weekend. And as you can see, is that I'm a third of a second, three-tenths of a second slower doing this first section. Looks like I caught up here on the second section, but then I lost a lot of that time back here in this back area. So what the main point of this view again is to be able to take a couple of laps and really help you optimize and figure out where you should focus your energies on in terms of closing the gap. So if I were to look at this, I'd say immediately, all right, there's this whole back section here, which I know that personally, I know that's been a struggle for me. So I could focus in on this, and we have upwards of almost of a half a second here in just this one section. As you can see, the video just finished downloading, so now it's there available. We have another third of a section here through the entry into the back side of the track right before the main straight. So I'm adding that up, right? And automatically we already have there is basically almost 3/4 of a second that you could go in and on focus on. Now, the other thing you can do here is show the graphs for the longitudinal and lateral accelerations. For this session specifically, the phone that I was using did not have an accelerometer, so we don't have the data there, but I'll show you an example of another session here in a little bit where you can see the data, but it's basically the same thing where you're able to have the comparison of the lat and long forces for that lap as well. The next thing I'll show you guys here is I'll do a quick play. And again, this is now you'll be able to see the laps playing in real time, and you can see the differences in the data. You can watch the video and see what the drivers are doing differently depending on what the video sources are that you have. So you see as we're playing through the video here, again, you can watch what the driver is doing and see and look at the differences in what's going on. You can watch in the map over here and see the dots, and you'll start seeing the differences in the lap times and start seeing the dots pull away, and then you start identifying, all right, here's what's going on, and here's where it is that you can really focus in on and try to get faster. So there you go. You can see that there's a lot of really important views that you can have here when you're comparing two different laps. Now, what's cool here is, again, in the current version of Track Attack in the Analytics app, you can only compare your own data. So what's going on here is I do have the benefit of comparing two different drivers' data, and that's because I had somebody co-drive with me in an endurance race, which is super beneficial. The other benefit here is that you can go through and actually do a segment report like we did in the single lap analysis. So if we go ahead and click on this, we could do a segment report where it takes all of the individual laps and all the individual segment times of both of the sessions and does a combined virtual fastest lap. So we're watching here as the app goes through and does the calculations. After it does it the first time, it'll do a cache of this, and it'll kind of keep it there in the memory so that way when you come back to it, it's a lot faster to get to this view. Okay, so the app has finished doing its thing, and now as you can see again is we have for each one of the different segments, we have the fastest segment times across all the segments for both, across all of the laps for both of the sessions. So then if we scroll all the way to the bottom, we can see what the fastest virtual lap is for all the best segment times combined. So although in the two sessions that we're looking at, the fastest lap for Cody, the co-driver that I had in the Enduro, was 1:30.5, and then my personal fastest lap on the track was in the first session, I believe, was a 1:31.1. And I was able to get down to a 1:30.994 in the Enduro. Basically, though, it pieces it all together, and as you can see, is that theoretically, or not actually theoretically, in actuality, we drove in that car a 1:28.573. Now, this is cool and everything, and you're like, all right, well, that's what the car is technically able to do, but sometimes it's a struggle for people to figure out, well, what does that look like? What does it look like when you actually put that lap together? And with what we've enabled with Track Attack and the Analytics app here with the video, it helps you view that. So what I'm going to go through is I'm going to go try to find all the fastest segment times and make sure that we have the video downloaded for each one of them. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select all the videos, the laps here, and what I'm doing is I'm basically clicking on these download icons, and that's initiating the download of the individual laps. I'm going to go through, I'm going to find all the fastest lap segment times. I'm going to go ahead and let the app download the videos, and once we come back here, I'll pause the recording here, but when we come back here, this button down here will turn green, and that means that it has all of the videos necessary to piece together the video of the virtual fastest lap, and then we can go and watch what a 128 lap time at Portland International Raceway with the chicane looks like. Okay, so I've gone through and I've downloaded all the videos for each one of the laps. And then again, as you can see there, the icon has changed to video is ready here for each one of the laps that has the fastest segments. And then this icon has turned green. So that means I'm able to go through and actually play a compilation of a video compilation of all the fastest segments videos that combine to make that 128.573. So that's super awesome because again, I'll play it here in a second, but what you can do here is you can take this and put it wherever it is that you do your visualization training. And if you don't have visualization training, that's something that you should really think about doing and figuring out how to do that in either in your living room or in your car or wherever it is. But basically go in there and watch it over and over and over and over again. And the cool thing about how we got these videos is that we use the GoPro camera so we can have as a video source, so we can have that view into the driver inputs, and therefore you can really mimic the driver inputs and really just basically program all those movements over and over and over again. And it's just awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play this. What you'll see is I'm going to hit play here. You'll see the video come up over here on this bottom right corner, and then I'll be able to hit this button to make it go full screen. So I'll let you guys watch that. So there you go. That is a video, again, of now a pretty dang fast lap here at Portland International's, a 128 and change. That is basically what we have in terms of the ability to look at two laps at the same time. Like I said earlier, we have other views here where you could have, if the phone that you're using has the accelerometer data, you can have that view as well. And I'll just do a quick preview of that as well. Okay, I pulled up one of the sessions that I mentioned where you can have the accelerometer data. So similarly, again, this is another session where I'm comparing my fastest lap at a racetrack with the fastest lap of somebody else who had a co-drive with me to be able to help me get faster. So this is Ted Anthony Jr. on this side. What I'm going to show you here now is being able to have the longitudinal and lateral acceleration graphs as well. So you turn on those buttons, and here is the data for that. Now, again, this is something that I've talked about in previous videos, but basically the accelerometer data, it can be useful. It just depends on the quality of the phone that you have. The higher end phones tend to have pretty good accelerometer data or accelerometers, and they have a lot less noise. In these two sessions, we use two different phones. One of them is pretty good. The other one's not that great. So just keep in mind as you're collecting data and you're analyzing it, that not all the accelerometers on the phones are created equal, and especially in race cars, with a lot more vibrations, we'll get a lot more noise like this. A bunch of street cars, most street cars will probably be fine, even with mid-end stuff. But again, if you have good quality data, and in a bunch of the sessions that we have had good quality data, this will be useful. If you don't have good quality data, that's fine, right? We're going to be looking at other ways to be able to have other accessories that'll give us even better accelerometer data. So that's what we have here in terms of being able to compare multiple laps and across multiple sessions. Let us know what you all think on the forum. We have a link specifically made for the analytics app. Message us on Facebook, and we look forward to your guys' feedback and making this a better solution to help you guys get faster. Thanks.